Hi, I want to show you this beautiful AI-powered automation for writing wine descriptions and getting all the necessary data for that you need for your wine product page. So we're going to start with example just of one wine. Here we have Yellowtail Sauvignon Blanc. So the only thing you need is actually just the wine name, but even that doesn't have to be fully correct because it's going to output the full name with its corrections. So let's start the automation. We're going to continue. Here you will see it takes like from 10 to 15 seconds to populate the data. This is just an example where I use just one webhook for this one wine, but I usually attach it to the full lists of wine that you have. And there you go. You get all the data that you want. Subtype, you get the brand, you get the country, you get the region, sub-region, and the varieties. You get the tags if the wine is vegan or, I don't know, organic or anything else. And then you get the wine description, styled, toned, and structured however you want. So I'm going to show you fully now how the automation works. One more thing here, confidence assessment. This is like the assessment of how much did AI actually follow your instructions, what to search for. And this is not just AI descriptions as you would put in ChatGPT or in Claude or in Gemini, that it's based on general knowledge that is there within the language model, but this actually does the Google searches for this particular wine, and it does several Google searches, and that so all of this data is actually real data that's live somewhere on the best websites for this particular wine. So I'm going to show you how does it work. So here, this is example just for one wine. We pick up that wine name and vintage, and then we get the instructions for writing wine descriptions. This is just like a short version. I usually use several pages because I want it very thorough, where you can define to see for what type of wine you want, what type of descriptions. So maybe for some high-end wines, French chateaus, that would be different than for just some like standards general wines, like this one is a Yellowtail. The other version is I pick up the whole list. I get that instruction for writing wine description, and then this is specially prompted Gemini model that does these Google searches. So you would actually get the real data that somebody wrote that is there on live, and that this model assesses itself how much did it follow these instructions and how much actually the sources are credible. And later on you get all of that back into the Airtable. I like to use Airtable because it's practical and you can pull CSV file out of it later that you can use to automatically populate your database. So I'm just going to show you here how does the database look like. As you can see, for this client, I had a lot of wines, and this is all the data that I got back. So yeah, in the tags you can see woman-owned, sustainable, organic. There are some kosher wines as well. If the search didn't went well, the score is going to tell you that, so you do not populate that back in the base, or you can filter this out and create a CSV file that filters out exactly on which percentage you want to go with inside your real database on your platform. So you can just filter here all the wines that are above and that are 90 and above. I'm going to show you the dashboard to see how actually this model is precise. So like the average score is 93%. Only we had 25 wines from 3,000 wines that were below 75. And these are some errors that can always occur, as you know, in your big databases. your wine names are not always correct, or you're missing a lot of info in your wine, so it doesn't like output the bad descriptions. So here it actually doesn't recognize it as a full wine, so it just doesn't do anything. And here you can also create dashboards to follow if you have added or didn't add these wines to your system. This is like full data layer version. Here you can see kosher. You can see with the varieties, how does it do a very good job. So even like for authentic varieties that are not that well known, it recognizes them, and you can always color them in different colors so you know which one is white or red. So as you can see, it picks up the whole blend actually for all of them. It does the same for the regions. So I went to check all of this data later on manually myself. And since I'm in wine digital industry for quite a while, and I can tell you that this data is correct, and even if I did it manually, I'm not sure that I would do it. So so this is very useful for wine retailers. This can be adapted to different products as well. So it doesn't have to be only wine. We can do this with spirits and with other beverages. You can just tell me what details you need, and I can set up the automation custom made just for you, and we can get all of your data populated. I hope you like this automation, and if you have any interest in having one of yours for yourself, please contact me.